So the first one says David wants to find the height of a building. He places a 32-foot ladder against the very top of the building. And then David measures the base of the building to his ladder, which is 17 feet. How tall is the building? So the first thing we want to do is just kind of sketch this out. And I'm not a great artist, but as a clue, since we're in the Pythagorean theorem section, this will use the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to have my building here at the very top. He places a 32-foot ladder. So this is going to be 32. This is the ladder right here. And he knows that the base of the building right here to the tip of his ladder, which is on the ground, is 17 feet. So we want to know how tall the building is. We'll call that X, or you could call that H, whatever you want it to be. So again, this is going to be an A squared plus B squared equals C squared. The C squared is always across from the 90-degree angle. The hypotenuse is always across from the 90-degree angle. So that's going to be 32. So we'll put in 32 squared. And the 17 can either be A or B. It doesn't matter which. I'll just make this B for no real reason. So we're going to have A squared plus 17 squared equals 32 squared. Now, a lot of students will make the mistake of doing 32 minus 17, getting 15, and then squaring it. But order of operations say we have to do exponents first. So 17 times 17 is 289. And 32 times 32 is 1024. Now we get rid of the stuff that's on the same side of the letter, but not touching it. That's the positive 289. The opposite or inverse of adding 289 is subtracting 289 on both sides. That's going to give us A squared equals 27.11. Oh, sorry, A squared equals 735. I just skipped a step there. And we are supposed to round this to the nearest tenth, so let me put that information in. So the opposite or inverse of square number is the square root. The square root of 735 is about 27.11. And rounding to the nearest tenth, which is the first number after the decimal place, will give us a height of 27.1 feet. The next question says a rectangular park that measures 31 yards by 67 yards. Put that information in there. And I'm pretty lazy. I don't really like to write the units too much unless it's necessary. We're going to build a diagonal path. A diagonal path is going to connect the opposite corners, like that pink line that I just drew. How long is the path going to be? Well, if I make kind of not really a mistake, but just to be sure that this length down here is 67. Looks like we have another Pythagorean theorem type of question. Not a surprise since we're in the Pythagorean theorem section. And anytime you see a triangle, especially one with a 90-degree angle, your thought should always just go to Pythagorean theorem in this class. So we're looking for how long this is going to be. We'll call that X, or the D there for the diagonal. It's A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, we are looking for the hypotenuse in this one because that's the one we don't have. I'll just call it D squared, like why not? So we're going to have 31 squared. 31 times 31 is 961. 67 times 67 is 4489 equals our D squared. Combine like terms, 961 plus 4489 is 5,450. That's going to equal D squared. The opposite or inverse of square number is the square root. And that's going to give us a length of about 73.82. And rounded to the nearest tenth would be 73.8 yards for this one. So if you have any kind of questions, please be sure to ask your math teacher.